Hello, my name is Adrian, and finding a job can be hard. Finding a job without a college degree is even harder. Having a bachelor's degree today can be seen as a minimum requirement to having a high-paying or high-ranking job. However, one does not need a 4-year degree to be successful and have a high-paying job. I will be supporting my proposition with 3 main supporting claims. 1, although small, there is a high percentage of jobs that do not require education higher than high school. 2, there are numerous high-paying jobs that only require either a 2-year associate's degree or only a high school diploma. And 3, immigrants without higher education have come to America and have started many businesses. Going back to the first point, Georgetown University has compiled a study with data that shows that 36% of job openings do not require anything higher than a high school diploma. 35 do require a college degree, and 30% only require some college education. Georgetown has listed and predicted that there are 55 million job openings in the span of a decade from 2010 to 2020. 13 million of those jobs, or 24%, have employed people that only have a high school diploma. The other 7 million, or 12%, have employed people that have not even gotten a high school diploma, which means they have employed people that have not graduated from high school, which could be due to multiple reasons, money or time. About 70% of Americans that are 25 years or older do not have a bachelor's degree. The U.S. Department of Labor's census in 2014 states that 209.3 million people are 25 years or older, and only 66.9 million have a bachelor's or higher, which equates to about 68 to 69% not having a bachelor's. The Department of Labor also states that the unemployment rate in America is 3.7% as of September 2018. These statistics exhibit that of the remaining 142.4 million people that do not have a bachelor's degree, only 5.3 million do not have jobs or are not working, while the rest are. If we were to relate this to our classroom setting of about 30 students, that would mean 21 of us would drop out of college and not have a degree, and only 9 of us would. Another option would be to enlist in the military. You can join when you are 17, which may mean you do not have a high school diploma. You are also given a pension, and although you have to serve 20 years, it covers your cost of living and adjusts with it. My second claim, there are numerous high-paying jobs that only require either a 2-year associate's degree or a high school diploma. And with California Governor Jerry Brown recently signing AB 19 in 2017, which provides 1 year free of community college for California residents, a 2-year associate's degree is now very accessible. One can hold high position jobs without a degree in management, or they can even own and sell property. People that own property can rent their houses, condos, apartments, and accessible apps such as Airbnb. The Bureau of Labor Statistics lists high-paying jobs including first-line supervisor and mechanics and non-retail sales workers, as well as registered nurses, managers for food businesses, franchises, and even casinos. In addition, there are also important high and in-demand jobs. There are important and high-in-demand jobs that do not require training or a bachelor's degree. The Department of Labor lists computer programmer, computer security analysis, and database managers as a few. Another option is vocational school, also known as trade school, which trains and teaches skills to people that will directly enter the workforce. Rockford Career College lists reasons on their website why a trade school is a good choice for students that do not have either the time or the money to pursue a 4-year college career. They list some of the options such as high-demand jobs, and they prepare students with a skill set for those specific jobs, job experience, and hands-on training, so you can proudly say that you learned by doing, and career services that include interview training and networking skills. My third and last point, immigrants without higher education have come to America and have started many businesses. I'm sure we've all been to supermarkets, local restaurants, used HVAC or even mechanical services that have been opened then. In a New York Times article, the Fiscal Policy Institute claims that there are 900,000 immigrants among small business owners in the U.S. This equals about 18% of the total. This percentage is higher than the immigrant share of the overall population at 13%, and the immigrant share of the labor force at 16%. This means that the majority of immigrants own businesses that have come to the U.S. own businesses and have employed over 4.7 million people since 2007. Overall, there are a large number of jobs and openings that have employed millions of Americans that do not have anything higher than a high school diploma. of those job openings, there are high in-demand jobs that require little to no training or background. There are many backers or alternatives to not needing a bachelor's to become successful. These options include vocational school, opening your own businesses, or just finding jobs that don't require training for a bachelor's. That being said, it is kind of ironic because I am a college student as well, but I hope we all stay in college and pursue what we want to study, and I hope what I've shared has given a new light in not always needing a 4-year degree to become successful. Thank you.
All right, we'd have to work a little bit on it to get the negative out of the main proposition, but the proposition is relatively clear. There's a good preview of what the supporting structure is going to be. You signpost those points as you get to them, which makes the speech easy to follow. I thought you were especially effective on the first point when you had a lot of general information about what the what the population is like, the percentage of the population that has a bachelor's degree, the employment statistics that you present in contrast to that, in the different age groups, additional employment statistics. That a lot of this belies a lot of the kinds of things that students are being told, where it is an essential to have a particular kind of degree in order to get a job in a particular field. And you've got a lot of statistical information here that suggests that that's not necessarily the case. The one thing that might be missing here would be some description of the particular fields of employment. You had a little bit of that when you mentioned supervisors, mechanical people, registered nurses, that sort of thing. I do think that there are probably a variety of jobs that fit into this category that would be appealing to people as well. And if you used some examples and illustrations, I think that would make your point a little bit more effective. The second point, where you're talking about availability of access to education being relatively simple and straightforward, and we have other degrees that allow people to do these kinds of things. I think that that's okay. It's the same sort of thing. We've got some more information that's related to those particular points. You do talk about trade school as a possibility to get into those issues. I think a little bit of data about the success of students who attend trade or vocational schools would be helpful here. They often have bad reputations, and I think that that's kind of a reservation that's sitting in the back of my mind. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are bad or wrong, but I have heard horror stories, and there are a lot of people who have invested in time and energy in attending trade schools that then don't get the results that they're looking for. So I would think maybe addressing that as a reservation issue would be an appropriate thing to do. And then the third point suggests that people can manage to succeed in this culture without having a high education, and you've got some good factual examples to illustrate that point. So I thought that was pretty convincing. It's also nicely presented. You get a little bit of credibility because it's kind of a reluctant testimony going against the decision that you've made to be in school and to pursue a particular higher degree. But I think the argument is nicely developed, especially on that first point. Thank you.